Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a very brief podcast of Alexandra Mayer's live, or this could be Alexandra Mayer's just some thoughts, because this morning I want to specifically talk about how history is cyclical and how my life has pretty much come full circle, at least when it comes to around the past decade, really. Um, I just had a really interesting epiphany this morning. As many of you know, around 2014, I was sued by some attorneys from Randazza Legal Group via a fraudulent and manufactured lawsuit. It was a defamation lawsuit based on 3 tweets. That was a very difficult time for me. It almost drove me to suicide because it wasn't just the lawsuit I was contending with. I was contending with being stalked, and I still am, being extensively bullied. I was falsely labeled a racist. I was falsely labeled anti-Semitic. And the individuals who did that to me, I don't expect an apology, but if you're smart, you'll go ahead and issue an extensive public apology in regards to what you did to me. Because here's what's funny about that entire situation. What's funny about it is that today, that same law firm and one of the 3 same attorneys who said some very horrific and very untrue things about me on court record are currently defending white supremacists Andrew Anglin and Jarrett Taylor. They are defending Alex Jones in court, or actually he is defending Alex Jones in court. But it was brought to my attention that on Twitter, he stated that white supremacists, the KKK, and hardcore porn, meaning the hardcore pornography industry, are all a part of his army. That's very interesting because the only reason that I was labeled as being anti-Semitic is because I pointed out that a porn star known as James Dean, who was basically the front man for something called the Adult Performers Advocacy Committee. He had to resign due to some serious allegations of rape and whatnot. But he went on public record in a periodical called Haaretz magazine, and he specifically stated, and I'll quote, "The Jews know that we're better than everyone else, and that's all that matters." Because I blogged about that, supposedly I'm anti-Semitic. No, because I don't think anybody is better than everybody else. And that was my point. Now, this Randazza Legal Group, they have been intricately intertwined with the inner workings of the Free Speech Coalition. And the Free Speech Coalition is known as the political face of the pornography industry. The Free Speech Coalition, as of current, has Black members, and many of their more wealthy and powerful members are individuals of Jewish descent. So you're going to tell me that you have individuals of Jewish descent who are just fine with a lawyer that they've worked with for years publicly stating that they're a part of the same army as the KKK and white supremacists? That's crazy. I actually did a very brief Poor News Today live podcast about that last night because I think it's possible that the FSC members are the dumbest people on the planet. I really do. And the reason I think that is logical. The reason I think that is because World War II and the Holocaust was not very long ago. Not at all. And as I said at the start of this webcast, history is cyclical. It could happen again. And a lot of people don't seem to understand what really led up to World War II. Some of the things that led up to it are things and activities that today's pornography industry does. So, I do believe in freedom of speech, but I also believe in common sense. And I do believe that you have to treat other people the way that you want to be treated. So, I just find this to be a very ironic situation. I almost wonder, like, if a Holocaust were to happen again, as Free Speech Coalition members were marched into the oven, would they still be screaming that Alexandra Mayers is anti-Semitic or Alexandra Mayers has a problem? Because there's no way in hell that the KKK or any white supremacists would ever accept me into their group. Look at me. Yeah. Yeah. So again, the people who are behind a lot of what I've dealt with are 3 attorneys of Randazza Legal Group, a man known as Ari Bass, who I think is another idiot, considering that all this time he's been retweeting that one particular Randazza Legal Group attorney who's been representing these white supremacists. But the thing about Ari Bass, he's of Jewish descent. Does he think that these KKK members are white supremacists? Or Alex Jones, really, would want to be his friend? No. No. Anyway, someone else known as Jamie Prophet, TRPWL, Sean Tompkins, and whoever it is behind an entity known as XXX Star PR. Sometimes I wonder if I embodied the same skill set and personality that I do, but if I was a white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes, would the porn industry and the Free Speech Coalition have treated me differently? I think so. The Free Speech Coalition, y'all are liars too. Way back in 2010, when that damn hate crime, and you know what I'm talking about, is the porn industry's most notorious racist and homophobic-based hate crime. When that thing was coming up, I wanted to get down to the bottom of it, and I wanted legal closure. And I told your president at the time, or the CEO, whatever she was, Diane Duke. And you know what? I think that she thought it was funny that I was being bullied. I think all of you thought it was funny. So whatever happens, considering your association with Randazza Legal Group and how he's playing with fire, whatever happens to y'all, I hope that you're as strong as I am when it comes to being targeted and bullied. Because if you're not, I really don't know how you're going to survive. So that's about it for this podcast. Free Speech Coalition, I pity you. Individuals who have targeted me over the years, I pity you too. You're not just horrible people, because from my perspective, you're not people. Not at all. Bye-bye.